What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Taraxa today. Terra, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. This request comes to us at the request of Brian D. We're doing this for you, Brian. All right, so here we are at $0.0035 right now. Up this week a little bit from the low, but down overall 11.6%. From the low, you're up, let's see, had a nice little 12% bounce. That's nice. You are at these low points here, and that's never ideal, right? You never want to be maybe once or twice, that's fine, but third time, fourth time, that's not ideal because it does lead to lower things most of the time. So hopefully we can come up with some stuff that signals that this is a low and that we are moving higher. If not, if it looks like we're moving down, we're gonna have to cut this one loose, man. This could be really bad for Taraxa. So let's get into this here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I at this point am not saying that it's going to drop. At this point, I'm not saying it's going to bounce here. I'm just saying, very plainly what I think about this chart looking at it right now, which is very surprising because this had such an immaculate double bottom. Just everything about this is just so bullish, but recently something's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Looking at let's start off on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, we'll start off there. So 15-minute time frame, RSI does look pretty bearish, so we're probably going to go down for the rest of the day today. Okay, that's fine. That's not anything too crazy, but it is looking like we'll go a little bit lower. You probably bounce from here because you're in this kind of like channel going downwards and you are at the bottom of it. So it wouldn't surprise me if, over the coming hour or hours, you move up to like 0035 or 0036. You're at 00353 right now, so something like that could happen, but inevitably I think you are working your way down. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, yes, you are in a position where you could bounce. To be fair too, if you get a green candle here, that could be a good area to bounce from, right? If you move up like this, you're bouncing off your oversold zone. The 1 hour definitely outweighs the 15-minute, and the 15-minute would agree that the next 47 minutes likely will be up. So interesting. And in the next 47 minutes, man, if by the end of this hour you can move up above this candle here, bullishly engulf that candle and bounce off the oversold zone, that could be a good thing, man. You're also in this kind of downtrend in the 1 hour time frame and at the base of this trend too. So the 15-minute time frame is suggestive that we go higher. I was thinking that we would find resistance at 0036 because that's kind of the downtrend that you've been in recently here. But looking at it, scoping out a little bit, it actually makes sense that you would go higher. So probably a little bit higher than that, 00367, 366, something around there, the heart of this overall downward sloping phase here. This could be a bull flag. It's probably not a bull flag. 1 hour RSI looks bad, but you're in a position where you could start to make it look good if you cut and run here, if you start to move higher. 4 hour time frame here, looking pretty bearish. Yes, rejecting off of the 50 area consistently. Coming down to the 40, finding support down here. I guess you found support here before. It's not terrible, but it would make me think that you want to go lower than this. That's for sure. Let's see, high to low here. Yeah, so what I think is going to happen here is you're going to move up over the coming hours. Maybe for the rest of the day you do move up, actually. You move up to about 0036 to 0037, somewhere in that area there. You'll find resistance and work your way down inevitably to 0034, 0033. At a minimum, you'll move down here. If not, potentially you'll continue on your merry way all the way down to 003, 0027, something like this. And then we could talk about a potential low, maybe. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm just saying that could happen, right? Really disappointing. We had some high aspects, high hopes for this thing. Let's see here. Daily RSI. And at no point right now am I saying sell. None of that saying sell. I still believe, as far as I know, I still believe it can and will see new all-time highs. But let's just wait and see first. Daily RSI. Pretty bad, man. Pretty bad. Makes you think you want to go lower. Yeah, so what I think you're doing here, Taraxa, now that we've gotten all that, we're looking at it on a weekly basis. You can see here, down and then out. Down, you consolidate a bit and then out. Down and out, right? Here, I was thinking that we'd just be down and out every single time, but it looks like you actually did consolidate a little bit there. I don't know. The argument's going to be moot, but I would just say the more that you consolidate here, the more likely you are to break to the downside. That's essentially what I was trying to say there. Though you consolidated here and you didn't break down. All in all, guys, there's no such thing as a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no such thing as a quadruple bottom. It doesn't exist. Quadruple bottoms are inevitable breakouts, right? That's what's going on here. So I do feel comfortable saying that. It's unfortunate because that's not what I was hoping to see, but it is looking like that'll be the inevitability. I think we'll move up over the coming 8 hours, maybe over the next day we move up a little bit, but I think overall we're on a path that takes us lower. Where are we going to go to? The golden ratio, right there at about 0.0024 to 0.0019, something in this area here. That's what I would expect. And if we are to perform well, what we'd look for is some kind of immediate bounce right off the golden ratio. That's what we want. We want to kiss it and then get away from it, right? A little kiss, kiss, bye-bye, right? That's what we want. We want to bounce right off that. And when we bounce, we want to see immediate, immaculate recovery. We want a candle like this or like that or something that's, at least sizable enough. Nothing like this. Okay, if we consolidate down to the golden ratio, that could be really bad for lower prices, right? And I'm not saying that this thing is dead in the water, that it's done. I am just saying that it goes lower. This lower price here is a bit concerning, but it is at the relative golden ratio. It is at prior areas of resistance here. It would make sense, a lot of sense to find support here. And then afterwards, we can start resuming our uptrend, potentially, hopefully, and I think that we will. If we're looking at this too, zooming out a little bit here on the monthly time frame, it kind of does seem as though you're in this downtrend, right? Lower lows, lower highs here, right? And that would point you right to the golden ratio. It wouldn't be crazy at all. We're looking for some volatility here. What we're looking for is this move down to happen sooner than later. And then by the end of the month, we want to be dramatically higher, right? I'm not saying that this will happen. I'm just saying this is what we're looking for. We want a very positive reaction here by the end of the month, because if not, you could be in some bad conditions here, you guys, and maybe something's going on that I'm not aware of, that we're not aware of, that Taraxa is dead in the water, and it could be in a slow descent into nothingness. It happens all the time. It's happened to cryptos that I've invested in, even this cycle, right? Shout out to Blue Zell, you know who you are. Shout out to GTC, you know who you are. It happens even with good projects, even with solid projects that have potential. Sometimes they just fizzle out. It's just the name of the game, man. So avoid that fizzling out. Hold 0025, 00247, 0019. Hold this area here as support, and most importantly, afterwards, get an immaculate recovery. We want an immaculate recovery. It doesn't have to see new highs, new relative highs. Just something that's takes you up like 20%, 40% from that low, and then you never return back down there. Do that. Or if you do return back down there, it better be like a quick little tweezer, like double bottom, and then you just rip from there. But ideally, you get down quick, you get out quick. That's the whole name of the game here. So I don't think it's appropriate to talk about lower price targets. I don't think it's appropriate to talk about higher price targets until this thing has resolved itself. All I feel confident in is not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I feel confident that we do go lower. And where are we going to go? Well, 0024 to 0019, somewhere in that area. Yeah, 247 I think is what it was, right? Yeah, 245, 247, something like that. 247, yeah. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If we're looking at this here at the current price, that's about a 30% drop to a 46% drop. I can't blame you for wanting to sell, but you're in a bad place to sell, man. You're at the bottom of this zone. I mean, it's what if I'm wrong? What if it rips from here? You know what I mean? So if the question is, I bought here, I bought there, I bought wherever, should I sell now and just eat the loss and prevent myself from seeing more losses? I don't know. Maybe. What happens if it decides to just go on a bull run and defy gravity here? What if it decides to rip through the ceiling and I'm just wrong? I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's a dicey game we're playing with. You're also at key areas of support, let's be fair, and support back here. I just think you found enough support at this to see progress, and you haven't seen progress. So oftentimes when that happens, you go lower until you find better support. Golden ratio might provide better support, right? Right down there, prior resistance here. That'd be pretty good support down in this area. Will it happen? I think so, but it's not a guarantee. If I had to be honest, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. People are asking me like what to do. Do I sell? Do I cut my losses? Do I just hold? I think holding is always the safest bet, even when faced with the potential downside, because while yes, retrospectively you might be pissed that you didn't sell here, you could have saved yourself a 40% dip. Okay, I get that, but if you didn't sell and it just rips, what if it doesn't drop off? What if it just rips, right? You've got more to risk to the upside than you do to the downside, right? To me, it's more risky to not be involved. I wouldn't want to buy it here, to be fair, but then let's say it all happens. Let's say it does go down and then it comes back up. Even if you would have played it right, what about the next time? What if it's not right? What if you're in a situation like this again and you're like, oh, it worked out last time, I'm going to sell, but then instead of it actually going down, it rips without you. I think it's better practice to just hold through the pain, especially whenever the potential outcome to the upside is going to far outweigh the potential downside here. Or if we get that downside, we'll probably get a bounce. We'll come back up here. If we find resistance here and we can't get above it, then it might be a more appropriate time to sell. By that time, there might be several cryptos that have already gone up in price. My honest opinion would be, if I'm holding Taraxa right now, and I'm just going to look you in the eyes, right? I'm going to tell you my genuine thoughts, okay? If I was holding Taraxa right now, I would probably sell and put it into something that I see that has potential to grow. The coins that I'm looking at that I think have potential to grow: Onyx Coin, XCN, of course, Swift Coin, Dogecoin, even Cookie DAO, TAI, TARS AI. That one looks really good. Turbo, Toshi, right? Meme coins. There's some coins out there, guys, that look like they're going to rip here in the short term, where this thing looks like it's going to go down in the short term. And I might make an agreement with myself that if I sell here and I buy another crypto, and by the time that crypto moves up, this thing moves down, I'll allocate some of that profit back into this to get my original position back in there. That might be what I do, so that if it does come up, I don't miss the pump. Or in other words, that way also, if it does go up here, at least I'm in something that's pumping up too, right? So any of those coins that I just named off, I think are going to move up in the short term. Even ZBCN here looks like it wants to move up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm literally just telling you what I would do personally. And generally speaking, I would not want to sell here. It's a hard decision, but if I was looking at this, if I had this, I would just have to be real with myself. I think it is going to go lower. So save myself that 40% loss, put it into something that I think is going to grow in the meantime. That way, even if I am wrong and it pumps, at least I'm in something else that pumps too. And then make that agreement with myself that if I'm in something that pumps and this thing dumps, I would just buy back to get my original allocation back in there, at least something back in there, because we don't know. We don't know if this thing's dead in the water or if it's going to go back up. Maybe by this time, maybe by the time whatever coin you buy, by the time it pumps, this thing really does dump down and you have no interest in buying it at all because it's just proven itself to be a dud. I don't know, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's a hard decision. It's never easy to sell for a loss, but there is a silver lining. If you sell for a loss, you claim those losses on your taxes. That's less money that you have to pay on your taxes. It's more, let's say you're down $5,000. You sell here, you claim that as a loss. You buy back another crypto, you make $5,000. Well, if you make $5,000, you don't pay a full $5,000 in tax. You just pay whatever bracket, 20%, 30%, 40% of that $5,000. So you could lose $5,000, gain $5,000, and you still have a lot of capital left over in the negative to wipe clean any potential profits you could have. Does that make sense, right? Claiming losses is not a bad thing. It's not ideal, but it's not a bad thing, especially if you do it right. But yeah, if I'm just being real with you guys, I think it looks like it wants to go down. It looked like that from the beginning, but I wanted to validate that before I saw it, before I said that, and yeah, it looks like it wants to go down. So I got nothing else for you guys. Lower targets await, probably something around 0019 to 00247, right? Something in this area here. If you go a little bit lower, it's fine. If you stop a little bit higher, it's fine. But something in this area here, that's kind of what I would expect. Yeah. Over the coming days, over the coming weeks. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but over the coming weeks, certainly. While the rest of crypto, I think, is going to move up over the coming weeks, unfortunately. That's not a good sign in itself. If the rest of the market's moving up, if Bitcoin's moving up to its all-time high areas and you're dropping, that's not a good sign. But there's still hope. It just depends on how we react down at this area. If we react well, good. If our reaction is something that takes you back up to like this current price or where you found support before and you confirm it as resistance, well, bad. This thing's dead. It's dead in the water. So we don't have enough to say that yet, but we'll see. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. You never know, man. This could be the top performing coin of the cycle if it recovers well, but I'm skeptical at this point in time. I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.